One of the things that we were able to cross-map in my research is looking at the traditional foods of the islands that are still eaten today. Um, and you're looking at a lot of different herbs. So wild herbs and wild foods are very, very important throughout the Mediterranean. In fact, there was a piece of research, which I can send to you, Donna, if you want to post in the portal or whatever, that said over 100 million Europeans eat wild foods every day. So why are wild foods like herbs and wild fennel and rosemary, etc., and even wild, in Greece we call it horta, which will be like your wild endives, wild chicory, arugula. Why are they so important? Because they have a unique molecular signature. And that molecular signature, another word of looking at that, is looking at the constituents of food that can talk to genes. And it turns out that many of these herbs and these foods that are native to those islands and native to the daily plate or almost daily plate, definitely the weekly market, contain bioactives that can turn off pro-inflammatory genes. And they can turn on genes that give your body the equivalent of a fire hose. So the body's in a constant state of flux, right? And it always has to deal with what we call free radicals. So these unstable oxygen molecules that are actually a natural part of breathing, a natural part of metabolism. But if your diet doesn't contain enough antioxidants to basically take care of these free radicals, then you go into the state of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress works with inflammation. Oxidative stress causes inflammation. Inflammation creates even more oxidative stress. So we have to stop the cycle.
Mhm.
So you can do it in two ways, and this is the genius of genes. So most of us know that we can get our antioxidants through diet. So you eat an orange, you get vitamin C. You eat sort of a red vegetable, you'll get vitamin A. So those are antioxidants. But the body is clever because it said, okay, those antioxidants, if you have a fire, like putting a teacup on the water, throwing a teacup on the fire, not really going to put the fire out, right? So the body says, well, we need to have another mechanism. And that mechanism is by turning on a specific pathway. We call it the NRF2 pathway. That pathway then activates genes to produce antioxidants that are like fire hoses. So what these foods that we find that are native to these longevity zones can do, this is very specific to the Mediterranean, but we could extrapolate it to other areas, is they provide essentially the ignition switch to turn on genes that have an anti-inflammatory or fire hose effect.